Hello, fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is mine. You are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever you are working on and work alongside while I chat, or alternatively, you can treat this as a podcast and just listen while I chat. I am working today on the Wolf Shaman from Diamond Art Club. It is sadly no longer available from Diamond Art Club. However, it is available over on Dreamer Designs. So I will stick a link down below to Dreamer Designs if you want to go check them out. I've done a couple of Dreamer Designs kits. I really like them. This one is square. I didn't look and see if the one on Dreamer Designs was square or round, but anyway, you can check it out if you're interested. This is WIP and Chat number 108. I can't believe I've done over 100 of these already. But I am back at work, ready and eager to get started. I'm going to move things around a bit so I can zoom in. I'm going to be working on this square, and I guess it's a rectangle, not a square. I'm going to be working in this section today. So let me move things around a bit, get situated, get some drills out, and I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, this kit, oops, let me start my timer, has a lot of ABs, as you can see or could see already. So I'm going to do those first. So number 4 is an AB. I'm going to work on that. Some I will place with my multi-placer, some I'll place with my pretty placer. So what's going on in my life these days? Well, we bought a new car. My husband gave up on the one that he was having so many problems with trying to make a deal on, and ended up getting a different one. It tows a little bit less, but it still tows, so it's all good. So now we have a car payment again, which is not great, but I guess necessary for what we want to do. Now we get to deal with all the hassle of changing over the insurance, dealing with a new lender, getting all the registration, tags, titles, all that stuff switched over. Just not my favorite thing to do, which is why my husband does most of the car shopping, because I just don't like it. Also, not thrilled that we have another car loan because interest rates are ridiculous. Yeah, we're still trying to pay off our trip to Canada, and I think I'm almost done paying that off. One more credit card bill to pay, and then we're done with that, I hope. Hubby finished up his job that is an hour away, so he'll be working closer to home, which is good because he has more stuff to be doing at home. We're going to be doing a lot of painting and packing and getting rid of stuff. He's already had to spend some time working on the new car that he bought. We got it and took it for a drive. I think we were going to get groceries or something. Anyway, it was hot. I was wearing sandals. He turned a corner and a bunch of cold water sloshed over my feet on the passenger side. It had some sort of leak in it. So the carpet, the interior is black, so you couldn't really tell. And so get it home, and I guess when he was looking at it, one of the condenser, well, first of all, somebody put the air cabin filter in backwards, so it wasn't working properly. And we don't know if it was that or something else caused one of the, don't know if it was a coil or a hose or something. I think it was just a hose, he said, that was leaking, and that's where the water, it was plugged, and that's where the water was leaking into the cabin. He's fixed that, had to wet vac the whole passenger side to suck out all the old water, but he did get all that done. Hopefully that's all fixed. And then he realized one of the headlights was out, so he took it Friday, because he was off on Friday, to a car mechanic, because this car, to change the lights, you have to take off the grill and the bumper and a bunch of other stuff. And he's like, I'd rather just pay the money because it wasn't very expensive to have the mechanic do it. Okay. Well, he takes it in there. He had bought the headlamps already because he thought he was going to be doing it until he realized what he had to do to change them. The mechanic changes them out. It's not the bulbs. It still didn't work. So something's wrong with the wiring somewhere. So he has to take it back in a couple of weeks and go chase it down. And I'm like, well, I think it's next week that he's taking it back. I'm like, when you take it back, if there's anything else wrong with it, we're taking this car back. This is ridiculous that we bought this car and we're having to do all this stuff to it already. Lemon laws, man. Anyway, so we have a new car. He's excited. Oh, he's getting frustrated. We have an Oriole that has started showing up at our house, which I've never really seen them around here. So Orioles are not that strange of a bird. They're just not ones that I typically see around here. But we noticed one on his car the other day because he was asking me, well, what is that? Because he didn't know what kind of bird it was. It goes out and it sits on the passenger side rearview mirror, the side mirror of the car, and then it will hover in front of the mirror. Like, I think it thinks there's another bird in its territory, and so like it's warning it off, because every day it is out there sitting at some point on the mirror of the car, and every day it poops on my husband's car and he has to go clean it off, and he's getting really frustrated because he'll go out and clean it and then he goes out the next day and it's back. And I'm like, that's why I think it's marking its territory, because it keeps doing it. And I mean, we'll watch it when it lands on the mirror, and it'll sit on the mirror for a little bit, and then it will hover in front of the mirror and like peck at the mirror. My parents used to live kind of out in the country too, and they had some wild turkeys that would do the same thing. They had this one wild turkey that would come up to they had view out windows in their basement, and so they were right at ground level, and the turkey would come up and see its reflection, and it would think it was another turkey and start to try and fight it. And so it would just peck at the window. And this poor stupid turkey would peck at the window at himself, at his own reflection, until he made himself bleed. And then he'd wander off, and 2 days later he'd be back at it. So my mom and dad were trying to figure out what to put by their window to keep this poor turkey from injuring itself. I think Dad finally put something over the window to make it non-reflective so it wouldn't see its reflection anymore. But yeah, birds are not the smartest creatures, go figure. And now that my husband is finished with that one job, he should be home. They're going to be working 4-day weeks, apparently. We'll see how long that lasts. That's what they said in the last job. And then within a couple weeks, they were back to 5 days a week, but we'll see. In theory, he's going to have Fridays off. And I said, well, that's good. We can, we've got the car now. He's going to start looking for a trailer. He's going to, because the new car will haul a trailer if that's the way we decide to go. He did call and find out that we can get a U-Haul from here to Canada. We rent it from here and then drop it off in Canada, but I don't know if that's what we want to do or not, so we'll see. Seems like it would be easier just to have our own trailer, and then, if we needed to move furniture or anything while we were up there, then we'd have a trailer to do it in. He's going to be home, so we can be moving things and fixing things. We did finish painting my daughter's bedroom. We had to repaint everything because our paint didn't quite match, and it looks so good. So happy with it. And then now that that's done, I can take all of the stuff that I was putting together in, the living room upstairs and the living room downstairs, and start moving it. We've got 2 separate sections of the room. This side of the room is all stuff that is staying. This side of the room is all stuff that is going. Some of it that's going is going to be stuff that we donate to thrift shops and stuff. Some of it is going to be stuff that we try and sell on Facebook Marketplace, because we have some furniture and some other things that we're going to get rid of, and just kind of, do a little bit here and there as we go along. Use that money to save up and rainy day fund or moving to Canada fund, who knows. So been working on all of that, trying to go through my books still and see. I've got so many of them and I can't find out what I want to do. But yeah, lots of stuff to do. The big issue on my mind for now is money. I was doing some research because, they have on the immigration website, there's hey, when you first move to Canada, here's some helpful things. And the US and Canada have a tax treaty. which is good because that means we won't get double taxed. However, apparently, even though there's a treaty, it can't just be simple. I mean, some pieces of it are simple, like essentially whichever place we live, mostly, you know, you declare either the US or Canada as your primary residence, and then you pay taxes in that country. And then if we live in and work in Canada, then we file taxes first in Canada, and then we file taxes in the US, and anything that we paid in Canada, we get essentially a credit for with the US. However, there's a lot of weird things if you have like retirement accounts, which we do, pensions, which we do, and it can just be kind of overwhelming. And the fees can be crazy. You know, my husband's Facebook group that he's in, everyone is like, yeah, it's just hire a CPA to do it, somebody who's licensed in the US and Canada, because not that any of it is difficult, but just to make sure that all your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed, because it can be, you know, kind of overwhelming. And I have so many questions. Like I went and you got to take everything on the internet with a grain of salt anyway. But I was going out and I found this one website that was like, oh, they're, you know, a CPA firm. They file taxes for people who are in our situation. And I'm reading through it and I'm like, okay, so there was a bunch of information about, like I said, how things are handled differently with IRAs and pension funds and 401ks and that kind of stuff, because they're tax deferred. And if you live and work in Canada and you get like a pension or something in Canada, that can be tricky because of the way the US considers them, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I'm just, you know, I hate dealing with numbers and taxes and all that stuff anyway. I wish we just had a flat tax and I could be like, here's how much I made. I owe you 10%. Done. And there was none of this, you know, loopholes or tax write-offs or whatever. So I'm reading through all these and I'm like, we just need to ask a bunch of these questions, because like I want to know. I thought that I could just, like when we moved to Canada, I could tell like YouTube, hey, I live in Canada now. And then I could sort of transfer everything over. I've seen people who said they've done it, moving from one country to another, but Google says you can't. So I don't know. You know, working as a contractor, which is essentially what I'm doing, YouTube, Google doesn't take anything out of the money that I get. They just give it to me and then I have to pay taxes on it. So I'm essentially self-employed, I guess. And what does that mean and how does that work? Could I leave it under my social security number since I'm a US citizen, even though I'm in Canada? I don't deal well with stuff like that, and I don't enjoy dealing with stuff like that. There's a reason I pay someone to file my taxes for me, because I don't like doing it. The weather has been interesting around here. This last week, there were tornadoes everywhere in the US, very big storms everywhere in the US. It has been raining. It has rained several days, which is fine, but my husband was getting a bit frustrated because I guess he wasn't getting frustrated. The people that he works for were getting frustrated because they don't work in the rain. Electricity and water don't mix very well, so when it's raining, they don't work. But we have around our house, the street over from us, they are repaving and they have torn it down to dirt and are building it back from the ground up, and it has set for like 2 weeks because of all the rain. And the people who live on that street are getting kind of frustrated because they don't really have any driveways while, you know, the street's being worked on. So it's really difficult to get in and out of their houses to go to work every day and all that good stuff. And so they have not been happy. We live at a T intersection, and the city where we live decided that they were going to expand that T, the street that runs in front of our house, expand it south of us, which is fine. There's a housing addition south of us and it's going to join up. And so, okay. But again, it's been raining, and so it has just, you know, these big earth-moving machines have just kind of been sitting there for 2 weeks accomplishing nothing. We'll see if they get it done. I'm hoping that it's not going to cause a lot more traffic and stuff for us because we're literally right on that corner. We already get quite a bit of truck traffic, so I'm curious to see how the traffic patterns change once they finish that road and how it's going to work. I mean, it just goes to another housing addition in the city, so it's not like, I'm just curious. I don't want it to be a detriment for someone, you know, a hindrance to us selling our house. Oh, well, I guess that's part of my diamond painting update. Am I ready for diamond painting update? Is that all my life painting stuff or my life updates? Oh, one last thing for my life updates. I have a 4 terabyte portable hard drive that I attach to my Mac PC. And I have slowly been filling it up with my, almost 3 years now of YouTube videos. 2 years. I guess it's not almost 3. I think it's 2 years. It is now almost completely full, and it's causing problems with other things that I'm trying to do with the computer. So I had purchased a second one a while ago thinking, you know, I'll pull off everything that I don't need and I will put it on, you know, this portable hard drive so it's not sitting on my PC, taking up space on my PC, because video files are huge. And I have, you know, finished videos as well as a lot of raw footage that I use to make the final videos and things like that. And it was almost completely full. So I dug out my other one, and I have spent the weekend kind of going through and moving old things over to the new hard drive so that stuff can sit on there, but it's not going to be attached to my computer. You know, it'll be stuff that if I need it, it's there on that hard drive, but it won't be something that I have daily access to. So I've had to go through all of my video files and kind of look at them and decide, you know, do I still need this? Would I pull this, you know, raw footage out to do anything with it? Which is harder than it sounds. You know, you think, oh, well, that's old video. I probably won't ever use it again. But then I'm like, well, if I ever did this video, then I might need that. I finally just decided, you know what? It's going to be on the hard drive. If I ever do need it, I can go back and get it. But I'm going to take it off and put it on the storage drive and not the one that's my daily use drive, if that makes sense. Because, yeah, I almost had all 4 terabytes used up because, like I said, video files are big. I think that's the last thing I want to tell you about my life update. If there's anything else, you know, I'll just throw it in because I'm a rebel like that. Diamond painting update. What is going on in my diamond painting life? Well, DP for pets. It's going really well. I've had several of you who have already filled out the exit form, which if you haven't seen that, I will stick a link to that below. It opened on the 15th, so that if you are finished with a project, you can go fill it out. A finish pic is required, so make sure that you take a photo of whatever project you have that you finished, so you can upload that, because it won't let you fill out the form unless you upload your pic. So make sure that you have taken a picture so that you can upload it. Some of them are so stinking cute already. I can't wait to put together the little montage video, and I'm loving seeing everybody's progress pics and posts and everything, and I've been trying to post, you know, on mine. If you haven't seen it, I'll stick a link to it up there in the corner. I finished my Fiona Dragon, which was my first kit for DP for Pets, and then I also finished my Paint Gem mini set of dogs. They were so cute. And I actually had a lot of fun doing them, even the breeds that I didn't particularly like, but the breeds were cute. They turned out really well. So now I am down to my last Paint Gem mini set. The only one that I have left is my ocean one. I've done the dogs, I've done the rainbow ones, I've done the museum set. So now all I have left is the ocean set. The museum set, I've already done a video over the finish of that. I haven't shown you the rainbow set finish yet, but I will be doing that. I finished that in another project for Pride. So I'm actually super excited about how much I've gotten done so far this month. And this is my third project for the event. I don't know if I'm going to get it done, to be honest, before the end of June, but I figure, you know, this is the third project, so if I don't get it done, that's okay. This one is on my artist series list, so that part is a win for me. And it is, well, I thought it was round when I was looking at it, and it turned out to be square. So it's taking me longer than I thought it would to get it finished, but that's okay. Also, one of the things that I do for DP for Pets is I make a donation to my local humane society. I did that. I remembered to do that this last week, so I've got a receipt. However, I don't want to show it to you all zoomed in, so I'll try to remember to do that at the end of the video so you guys can see that. Just to keep me honest that I did actually make the donation like I said I would. And plus, it's just a nice thing to do, right? Shelters can always use donations. I know a lot of people like to donate things rather than cash, but they really appreciate cash just because, you know, sometimes they don't always know what their needs are going to be. And it's nice to be able to have some cash on hand so that, you know, when those unexpected expenses pop up, they have the means to cover them. Like everybody else, right? Unexpected bills are no fun. All right, you guys, I was filming my finish of Fiona, and I always, after I finish a kit, I do have two light pads. I have a really big one and then a smaller one, and I will get out one of them, and I will stick it underneath my diamond painting, because I don't typically paint with light pads. I'll stick it under the diamond painting and just run the whole diamond painting over it so I can make sure that I didn't miss any drills. And I did that with Fiona, and I still missed some drills. And I was just watching it to make sure that it uploaded. And I realized I had missed 2 drills on the neck of the dragon. And I was like, oh man. So I had to go find the kit, the tray with all the drills, and go back under it and then go fill in the 2 drills that I had missed. I was like, man, I can't believe I did that. I try to be really careful about that because, you know, once I'm done with the project, I typically kit it down and then all the drills are put away. I mean, it wouldn't have been a big deal for me to like go in my spares and pull out the drills so that I could fix it, but I hadn't put anything away yet, so it was fine. But I just was like, man, I can't believe I did that. When I did my museum set, everybody was giving me advice on different ways to store or display the finished little paint gem minis. And a lot of you recommended the little A5 booklet. I had an A5 binder, but I didn't have the little like photo sleeves. So I did order some of those. However, by the time I got the rainbow set and the dog set in it, it was really, really full. And I didn't want to stick any more pages in it. So but I think I'm going to order another little A5, one of those 6-ring binders, so I can put the ocean set in it when I finish with those. Because there's just too many of them. You know, my museum set I put in my portfolio, but there were only 10 of those, and I could get them all on one page. The doggy and rainbow sets had 16 each, and I think the ocean has 16 as well, so it's just too many. So I'll just order another little binder and then I can display them. And then I'll figure out what else I want to do with them, because one of the things I have to do is figure out what I'm going to do with all the diamond paintings that I haven't framed and hung up. Am I going to hang on to them? Am I going to let them go and like donate them to Goodwill? Like my husband said, just donate them, but you know, they're not framed. I don't know that the thrift store would do anything but throw them out because they're not framed. And I'm certainly not going to go to the trouble and expense of framing all of them just to donate them. So I'm still thinking on that. You know, part of me says I should keep some of them, because I will want them for the channel, you know, for, I don't know. I don't know what reason. I think in the last 2 years, I've gotten into that big portfolio with all the really big paintings, maybe once or twice. So maybe I'm just giving myself a reason to hang on to them there. I don't know. So yeah, working on stuff for DP for pets and other things. You guys, don't forget to be posting your progress pics, whether you post them in the Facebook group or on Instagram or wherever. Tag me, hashtag DP for Pets 2023, and I will be super happy to see your progress, because I love to see what everybody's working on. Like I said, there have been some really cute kits already. So I can't wait to see how stuff turns out for everybody. All right, I told you that the exit form is open. You have until midnight on June 30th to fill out the exit form and upload your finished photo. So if you're not done, don't panic. I'm not even anywhere close to done with this one. I just started it. So, you know, everybody works at their own pace. Don't feel like you have to, you know, rush and strain yourself. I want people to have fun. You guys, this has been a weird week. You know, it was a lot of up and down with lots of things. Up and down with the car, you know, excited we got the new car, and then there were all these things wrong with it. Then YouTube is being weird. They have obviously made some changes, and I remember seeing people talking about, oh, you know, it was after they did something with shorts, and people were complaining that stuff wasn't, you know, they suddenly weren't getting the views that they were getting and all that kind of stuff. And now they have made another big change and lowered the threshold for monetization, and which I think is great, but it's eating comments again. It just seems like it's doing some screwy things. And so I guess I'm going to wait a couple of days and see. I had my mind on that, you know, on the new car. And then I decided that I was going to start, after I was so happy because I finished Fiona and I finished the dogs. And I was like, okay, I'm going to start a third kit. You know, try to complete 3 projects. 2 probably would have been plenty. But because it was so early in the month, I was like, yeah, let me go ahead and start something else. I'm making good progress. I'm making good time. Let me get another project out and, you know, just work my way through it. And so what I did was I got out a project that I thought I should be working on. I liked the image, and I sat down and I kitted it up and I started working on it. And the first couple of hours weren't too bad. The drills weren't terrific, but they weren't terrible. And so I started working on it. First couple of hours weren't too bad. And then I hit a couple of colors, and I swear every other drill was trash. They were just terrible. And I finally got to the point after about 4 hours, and I said to myself, okay, I'm not going to fight with these anymore. Let me go pull out some of my spares and see if I can use some of my spares. I probably won't have enough to do the whole painting with my spares, but at least it'll save me some frustration right now of dealing with these drills that were going to be popping all over the place. And so I go to my spares, and of course my spares are not the same shade. The one that came with the kit is much lighter, and it's a very obvious difference. So I could have sprinkled some in, but that meant I was going to still be stuck, you know, dealing with these bad drills. I was just so frustrated. It's just so beyond frustrated. And all of a sudden I was like, why am I doing this to myself? You know, I told myself that this year my diamond painting would be about doing things that I found fun and that made me happy. And does sorting through trashy drills for hours on end make me happy? No, newsflash, it does not. So I did something that I have never really done before. And this was a good size kit. This wasn't a small 30 by 30 or anything. It was I want to say like a 50 by 70 kit. a licensed diamond painting kit, and it doesn't matter what company, but I just, you know, sometimes you just get bad drills. And I said, you know what, I'm just not going to waste my time doing this. It was not a kit that was one of my absolute favorites anyway. Like I said, I picked it out and started working on it as a, well, you know, this fits for DP for pets, and I feel like I should work on it, so I'm going to pull this one out and I'm going to do it. And I was absolutely miserable. And I finally just said, you know what, I'm done. I trashed the painting. I literally just threw it in the trash. I can only think of one other time that I threw a project away. Even then, I didn't actually throw it away. I still have it. I put the drills in the wrong place, and it was back when I was doing my 30 by 30 challenge last year, and I put a bunch of the drills, I got mixed up with which set of drills I was working with, and I put the drills from the wrong kit on this particular painting, and so I saved it thinking, well, I'll use this as an example kit. So I still have it. So I didn't finish it, but I didn't throw it in the trash. This one, I literally dumped all the drills and the canvas and I threw it in the trash because it just wasn't worth the frustration of dealing with all the bad drills. I mean, I've dealt with canvases that had popping drills before, but never ones that were that bad. And I mean, I wasn't, you know, sometimes I cut myself a little slack that I get too frustrated because I'm trying to hurry or whatever. But I mean, I wasn't really trying to hurry with this one. You know, I knew I had half the month. I thought I would have plenty of time to get it done. There was going to be quite a bit of multi-placing in it, so I thought it would go pretty fast. And it wasn't. I mean, after 4+ hours, I had 2 sections done, which is, I usually can go way faster than that, even with squares. And I just thought, yeah, you know, this is not a kit that I'm in love with. I'm just done. And like I said, I wouldn't normally throw it away. You know, normally I would try and power through and, you know, be giving myself that talk. You've started it. You need to finish it. It's okay if it's not perfect. And it's not even about, you know, the drills being perfect or anything. It was just so frustrating. Just, and not even the kind of like frustration where you get mad and you're angry, frustrated. It was just this exhausted frustration, you know, like I don't want to deal with this anymore. I don't, yeah, I find the older I get, the less patience I have for stuff like that. And again, you know, nothing against, the company is perfectly fine. I've done other kits by them that were fine. That particular one, for some reason, it seemed like every drill I picked up was terrible. And it just wasn't worth the hassle. And there was a lot of black in it. And I just, you know, black is notoriously trashy anyway. And then when it turned out a bunch of the lighter colors were also trashy, it was like, you know what? Yeah, in the trash it goes. And I told my husband, and he was like, wow, I can't believe you actually threw it away. Because normally I wouldn't. And I said, yeah, I just got so frustrated. And I will say, after working on that one and then moving to this one, oh, you know, the other one, I had like a section and a half done, and you would run your hands over it and drills would come off attached to your fingers because they were popping. And, you know, I'd go back in and try and fix them. And then as you're working, more of them would pop. And it was just, oh, yeah, not worth it. And I'm really enjoying this one. It's so colorful, and there's lots of ABs down here. And yeah, I'm just excited already, and I've only done, this is basically the last section of my first row. I'm hoping I'll get it done in time for the end of DP for Pets, because I have so many other projects that I want to work on too. Maybe it's because I have the YouTube channel, but do you guys ever feel like, oh, all the things? I mean, I'm excited to do the diamond paintings. It's not that, but I just feel like, I guess sometimes I feel like I forget to stop and smell the roses, you know. I need to enjoy this diamond painting before I'm already mentally moving on to the next one, but sometimes that's hard to do, especially you know, with YouTube, because I've always got to be thinking ahead. Oh, what do I need to do for this? What do I need to do for that? All of a sudden I was like, oh, am I putting these on the wrong symbol? But no, I am not. And let's see, what else is coming up? So once DP for Pets is over, then we move into July, and Summer with the Masters runs through July, right? I might have a small kit that I want to do for that if it runs through July. I do have a kit, a small kit that I want to do for, well, I have one small kit that I wanted to do for Christmas in July, and then I realized, oh, I have a couple of other bigger kits that I could do as well. So I may do one of those as well. I'm not going to do any big, huge paintings for Summer with the Masters. I wish I had time, but with it being June and July and DP for Pets being June, I don't think I'll have the time to do a big painting and get it all finished in time for the end of Summer with the Masters. I have, yeah, I forget what I have. That's the bad part about having a big stash. You know, you forget sometimes what's in there. I have everything on a big spreadsheet, but I don't have photos in my spreadsheet. And so sometimes I forget, you know, sometimes the name isn't all that descriptive, but sometimes I forget what's in there too, because I was looking and I was like, oh, well, I've got a diamond art club that I could do for Christmas. It's quite large, but I could do that for the Christmas event, and I would like to get that one done for my sister. That would be a good one to do and give to her before we move. So maybe I'll do that one. But then I realized that was the one I was leaning towards, because it's also one that's on my artist series. Then I realized, oh, I have 2 other kits from Dreamer Designs that would also work for Christmas in July, and I completely forgot about them. I mean, they're all piled in the same spot. I don't know why I would forget about them, but I did. Yeah, I just want to do all the things. I need like more hands so I can paint more diamond paintings. Is that how that works? Just, you know, graft on a couple of extra hands, couple of extra arms so I can have 4 hands diamond painting at once. I don't know if my brain could handle that. I might have some kind of overload. But it would be nice to be able to get more things done. I don't know how some of these YouTubers do it. I watch some of these other YouTubers, you know, I'll see them talking about one painting and then the next day they're talking about something else they finished. And it's like, how do they finish everything so quickly? Does everybody just diamond paint more than I do? Ooh, that's a good question. What is the average amount of time you spend diamond painting every day? Like, do you diamond paint every day? I guess that's the question. I know some people do. I try to. Even if it's only, you know, for an hour or so, I try to diamond paint every day. I don't always make that goal, but I try to. And so if you diamond paint every day, how much time do you spend doing it? Is it an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, more? I know some people who, you know, diamond paint are retired, so I don't work, so I have time during the day that I can diamond paint. All right, just looking to see here. Nope, I missed all of those over there to see, you know, maybe I just don't finish as many things as I should because I don't diamond paint as much as everybody else is. Is that how it works? How much time do your favorite diamond painters spend diamond painting, do you think? I mean, obviously I get more diamond painting in on the weekends than I do during the week, because my husband is home and he's sitting on the couch watching TV, and so I'll diamond paint while he watches TV. And now that the CFL has started, he's been watching football. Of course, this week he's watching this weekend he's watching the Canadian Grand Prix because it's in Montreal. He's always wanted to go, so I occasionally rub his nose in it that I have been to several. My dad was a big Formula One fan, and back when they still had a Grand Prix in Indianapolis, I would travel with my dad to go to the race. So I've been to 3, I think, when they were in Indianapolis. They have one in Austin now, and now they've added one in Miami. We're not going to go to Miami. That's too far for us, but Austin is 8-10 hour drive, maybe a little bit more. I don't think it's as far as Houston, but anyway, I'm debating, you know, do we want to go to the Austin one, or do we want to just wait until we're in Canada and then go to the one in Montreal? But I would like to make sure that he gets to see one because he would absolutely love that. Maybe that'll be, oh, is the Montreal one Father's Day weekend every year? I should look at that, because if it is, that would be an awesome Father's Day gift for him. I'll have to keep that in mind because, yeah, that would be an awesome Father's Day gift for him. Okay, I think that is it for me today, guys. I have rambled long enough, I think. So sorry if I repeated myself. I've done a lot of filming this week, and I don't always remember if I've talked about something or not, because YouTube time is weird, in case I haven't mentioned that before. Let me zoom out a bit, rearrange things, because we have a couple of items to take care of. Be right back. So as you can see, I didn't get a ton done, but that's okay. I'm down to just 2 colors left, and as you can see, that's going to be quite a bit of multi-placing there, so it'll go quick. I gotta say, I'm actually really loving, this is my 10 placer from Everlasting Tips. I have a 15 placer, but I haven't been brave enough to try it out yet, but I'm doing really well with it. I was using my We Have a Handle on This tips, but I think I'm just too rough on them. I've broken 2 of them, the We Have a Handle on Them tips, and so I'm kind of, yeah, laying off of those for a while. But anyway, so 2 items of business before I go, and that is, I want to share with you guys my receipt here from Caring Hands Humane Society. That is in the city that is closest to us. I made my donation of $100. Last year, this year it's a bit different. Last year I made my donation, and I think last year I donated like $105 to make up for like PayPal fees and whatnot. But last year you could donate with your credit card and things. It wasn't only PayPal. This year when I logged on, it was only PayPal. That was the only option. And it didn't ask me for extra to cover PayPal fees and stuff. So I don't know if they got in trouble for doing that. I don't know if they just, donations were down because they were asking people to do that. I didn't mind doing it, but anyway. So I've made my donation. If any of you, and I know some of you have marked yes on the exit form, any of you who made donations to your local shelters, thank you, thank you, thank you. The local pet population thanks you as well. Okay, so there's that. Then what is the last thing we need to do? I have not forgotten. The last thing we need to do is we need to draw for this week number 3 of DP for Pets for the giveaway. And I've already sent out both previous week's winners. So we have week number 3 this week. We'll have 1 more week of a giveaway. And then when I do the final video montage, I will draw for the final prize package winner on that video. So make sure you are subscribed so that you get notified when those videos drop. Okay, so DP for Pets week 3. I'm hoping this is focusing. I know sometimes it's out of focus, guys, but all right. Jess! Yay! Jess, you win. Send me your email. I don't know if I have it already. I'll go look. If I have it, not your email. Email me so I can make sure that I have your present address. I'm pretty sure you're on my random acts of kindness list, but if not, make sure I have your current address so that I can send that to you. Yay, Jess, so excited for you. Okay, so that is week number 3 winner. We'll have 1 more weekly drawing, and then of course, like I said, we will have the final prize package winner at the end. That's it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around till the end of the video. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.